Hey guys, back to another video. This is going to be my actual review on the Sonos Arc Ultra. I did an initial impressions video a couple of days ago, but I actually recorded that a few days before that. So I've had the Ultra for about a week now, and I think I can give you guys a better understanding of what you can and can't expect from this soundbar, especially when you're comparing it to the original Arc. Now, most of the thoughts I had on the Ultra in my previous video still hold true. It's just that now that I've had a longer time to actually listen to it, I think I can provide a few more insights. As you guys know, different movies have different sound mixes. Some can sound amazing and some can sound pretty poor. So I tested out this Ultra with Lord of the Rings, The Matrix, among other reference quality titles. And, the results really surprised me. Now, one of the things that I've really been enjoying about the Arc Ultra and just playing with different movies and stuff is, other than the great dialogue clarity, it's its dynamic range. I didn't really notice it that much at first, so I thought it sounded almost the same as it did with the Arc. But once I plugged them back and forth and kept switching them, I noticed how much better the dynamic range on the Ultra actually is. Like I said, I tested out movies like The Matrix, also put in Spider-Man 3 on 4K Blu-ray. It has a great scene where, this building is collapsing and this girl's gonna fall out through the window. You can hear all that glass, you can hear all the debris, you can just hear everything so loud and so clear. So the dynamic range is incredible on the Ultra. Something I would have to do with the original Arc was turn down the Era 300s a lot, since I felt like they were just so much louder than the original Arc. Now, I'm not sure if it also has something to do with how Sonos treat the TruePlay, but now it actually sounds like a more seamless bubble. So the Era 300s are still very loud, it's just that the dynamic range now is matched by the Ultra up front. So now it sounds like a much more complete bubble. Like I said, the voices, the dialogue clarity is incredible. I've been really enjoying testing out movies, where they have that intro, somebody speaking at the beginning, and it just sounds so clear, so present. And I've had the Ultra I've had the original Arc for years now, so I really got used to that sound. Now that I plugged in the Ultra, it's just I've been replaying different movies and just really enjoying the dialogue clarity. Now, like I mentioned in my previous video, the bass on the Ultra is incredible as a standalone bar. If you have it connected with your sub and your Era 300s, that extra bass is kind of going to get lost. So you're not going to be hearing more bass, you're not going to be feeling more energy into your room just because you have the Ultra as opposed to the Arc. So definitely keep your expectations kind of low in that regard. If you're going to be connecting as part of a fuller system, especially if you have two subs, the Ultra will not make a bigger difference in the bass department. It just won't. It sounds great in voices, especially deeper voices, like I mentioned in my previous video. It all sounds like it's coming from the Ultra as opposed to from the Arc and the sub, since the Arc couldn't really handle those lower frequencies. Now everything sounds like it's just coming from the actual soundbar itself, which is really great. But just don't expect a lot more bass because you are adding the Ultra into your system. Now, like I said, different movies have different sound mixes. So originally, I didn't think that the Ultra sounded that much better for Atmos. I was expecting a very huge upgrade because I saw what Sonos was able to do with the Era 300s. I mean, one single Era 300 can spread out sound to the sides of the room, like nobody's business. It sounds incredible. It sounds incredibly wide. And the very first time that I heard an Era 300 just throw sound to the sides of the room about 10 feet away to each side, it blew my mind. So I was very excited to see what they were going to be able to do with the new Arc. Back then I thought it was going to be the Arc 2. So I just thought they were going to take all that technology, everything that they learned from the Era 300, and apply it to the Arc for their Dolby Atmos performance. Now, I wouldn't say that I'm underwhelmed with the performance of Dolby Atmos with the Ultra, but I was expecting a little more. It definitely is an improvement over the original Arc. Stuff sounds wider, so it's a wider soundstage. Stuff that happens to the left or to the right, it actually sounds a little more pronounced, and especially stuff with overhead. Now it feels, again, like a more seamless bubble front to back, but I was expecting a little bit more. It's definitely an improvement over the Arc, but I would say around maybe 25-30% better. At least that's what I've been hearing. I will keep testing it out with different movies and different reference Atmos movies, but so far, that's my impressions on the Atmos performance. Now, in terms of design, I do really like the design of the new Arc Ultra. I never really thought that the original Arc needed that drastic change in terms of design, since I thought it was a good-looking soundbar. I've been staring at it for years now, the original, so I can't tell that this new one is a little slimmer. I think it looks really nice. The control panel up top, I think, is a very nice addition, and the volume slider is great that now it matches my Era 100 and Era 300s. Now, in terms of design, I do really like the look of the Ultra. I always liked the look of the original Arc, so I never thought it needed a drastic change design-wise. I have been looking at the Arc, for years now, just staring at it. So I am able to notice that it is a little bit slimmer, which I think is nice. Also, the control panel up top, I think is a very nice addition, especially the volume slider that now matches the Era 100 and Era 300. One thing I did hope that was slightly improved this time around was going to be the microphone. I noticed that my Era 100, most of the time, even though it's much further away than the soundbar is, I noticed that a lot of times it would pick up my voice when I was talking to, any voice assistant. So it would pick it up over the Arc. Now I would try to, dust my Arc. Maybe I got a little bit of dust in there, but overall, I just noticed that the Era 100s have much better microphone quality than the Arc. So I was expecting the Arc Ultra to have a better microphone quality. From what I can tell, I don't think it's that much better. When a movie's playing or anything, it still has trouble hearing me sometimes, which is not the case with my Era 100. I can have that blasting music and it will hear me perfectly. And the Arc Ultra still, I'm playing a movie and it still has a hard time, turning the volume down. I still have to go for the remote or for my phone. Now, there's plenty of great reasons to buy this soundbar, but still one of the biggest downsides is that it does not have DTS:X. Fans have been asking Sonos for years now to include DTS:X in its next flagship soundbar, and it's still something Sonos hasn't done. Fans have been saying, including myself, we'll pay more for DTS:X, and it's still not here. I just don't like the idea of walking down Walmart, seeing a $150 soundbar that has Dolby Atmos and DTS:X decoding, and my very expensive, very premium Sonos soundbar doesn't have that. So I don't know. I mean, somebody's going to go spend $150 at Walmart, get both codecs, and I'm going to be over here paying $1,000 and be missing out having my multiple 4K Blu-ray discs with DTS:X and just staring at them knowing that I will not be getting the full audio experience that I could be if Sonos did support DTS:X. So that is a huge bummer, and I still don't understand why Sonos hasn't included it with this iteration. So other than the omission of DTS:X and the multiple HDMI ports, I do think that this is a terrific soundbar. I think it's a worthy upgrade and a worthy successor to the original Sonos Arc. If you already have the original Sonos Arc, especially if you have it hooked up with Era 300s and 1 or 2 subs, I don't think you should upgrade unless you're going to be selling the original Arc to help pay for the Ultra. If you're going to be paying the full $1,000 for that upgrade, I don't think it's worth it. After I already have a buyer set up for my Arc, so after I use the 15% discount I got from Sonos for the trade-up program for having their older soundbars and older speakers, I'm going to end up paying around $300, $320 for that upgrade to the Ultra. So I think that is worth it. I think the added dialogue clarity as well as the better Atmos performance and better dynamic range is definitely worth the $300. I don't think it's worth $1,000 to just upgrade for that specific reason if you're not going to be selling your original Arc. So finally, I would absolutely recommend the Sonos Arc Ultra. If you're using it as a standalone soundbar, you'll have great bass, great dialogue clarity, dynamic range, Dolby Atmos. It will sound incredible, and I don't think you will be disappointed. Even if you're connecting it as part of a larger system, I still think a lot of those benefits carry over, maybe except the bass, but it will definitely elevate your movie watching experience over the original Sonos Arc. All right, so now I'll play a few more sound demos for you guys. And if you guys enjoyed this review, don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. I would really appreciate it, and I'll see you guys next time. Thank you.
In ancient times, the world was ruled by gods and monsters. But it was the half-god Perseus, my son, who defeated the Kraken and saved humanity. For his courage, I offered him a place to rule at my side. But Perseus was strong-willed and chose a different path. It was a coup. You've been corrupted.
within these rings was bound the strength and will to govern each race. But they were all of them deceived, for another ring was made. In the land of Mordor, in the fires of Mount Doom, the Dark Lord Sauron forged in secret a master ring to control all others, and into this ring he poured his cruelty, his malice, and his will to dominate all life. One ring to rule them all. One by one, the free lands of Middle-earth fell to the power of the ring.